My name is Tiaja Garner, and the movie that I will be presenting on is called New Jack City. New Jack City was made in 1991. It was made in New York. The genre that this movie is under is drama, action, and crime. And I found this movie on YouTube. I had to rent it for 48 hours for like $2. The main characters of the movie were Wesley Snipes, who played Nino Brown. He was a male and he was head of the drug operation. And he trusted no one. That was a big characteristic that I got from him. And as far as education goes, it seems as if he probably just graduated from high school and then was just in the streets and didn't go off to college. The next character is Alan Payne. They called him G Money in the movie. He's a male and he's Nino's right hand man. He also seemed as if he was in his early 20s, and as far as education, it seemed as if he didn't go to college as well. The next character is Ice T, who plays Scotty Appleton. He's a male, he's a suspended cop, and he was the only one that the officers thought would be, well, that law enforcement thought would be crazy enough to go after someone like Nino Brown, so that's why they wanted him to be the main guy to find him. He knows the streets of New York very well, and he was hired to build a case against him in his drug operation. Nino and G Money, they started this business, the drug business together, and they called each other brothers, so that was their relation. I don't know if they were really brothers, but they called each other brothers. And then Scotty Appleton really had no relation to them except for the fact that Nino killed Scotty's mother a while back when she was walking home from the grocery store, and he was young and he was on his way into getting into the gang, and that was something that he had to do in order to show that he was quote unquote down. So the demographics of the movie was shot in Harlem, New York, and it was in the 1990s, and it seemed as if it was in like the poor project area of New York. And for the substance of focus for this movie, it was crack or cocaine, and it was called Freebase, and it was cheaper to produce, and it was more potent. It wasn't a legal drug. It was a Schedule II drug, and it played a major role in the plot of this movie. And there was also like marijuana and cigarettes and alcohol being used in the movie. But this crack cocaine called Freebase, it was the hardest drug that I saw being used. So this movie was a fiction, and basically, this movie was about Nino Brown and how he's an upcoming drug dealer who's introduced to a new form of cocaine by his partner or brother G Money, and it's called Freebase. This cocaine is cheaper to produce and it's more potent than regular crack cocaine. So they take over the streets of Harlem by illegally taking over an entire apartment complex called the Carter Apartments. This apartment building was right in the middle of the Project Poor area. And this is where they held their product, their money, security, just their base of operations. The cops have been trying to put Nino in jail for the longest, but they could never build a case against him, and there was really no one brave enough to even want to go against him. So that's why they hired two suspended cops. One was Scotty, and then his assigned partner was Nick Peretti. So they go undercover to try to obtain any records or recordings, anything to take him down. And during this, there's a lot of killing, betrayal, drugs being used. And then they finally arrest him, but after Nino pleads guilty to a lighter sentence, one of the residents of the Carter Apartments that they took down was an older man, and he shoots Nino dead outside of the courtroom. So, the drugs affect the users in the movie by controlling like their every action. Like it causes them to steal, it causes death, betrayal, trouble with the law, various health problems, just the usual effects of using hardcore drugs like crack cocaine. One character specifically that I want to talk about, his name was Pookie in the movie, and it was played by Chris Rock. He was a crackhead in the movie, and he always seemed to buy his supply from Nino Brown, because Nino Brown seemed, and the rest of his gang seemed to know him very well. So Pookie obviously has had a lot of run-ins with the law enforcement, and one of those run-ins was with Scotty Appleton. And so Scotty Appleton notices that Pookie has this relationship with Nino Brown, so he kind of uses him. So he gets Pookie help, puts him through rehab to help him get off the drugs because he wants him to go undercover in the Carter apartments and like wearing a wire to record anything they can use to build a case against Nino Brown. But then they obviously find out that Pookie is wearing a wire because they noticed that Pookie was acting funny. So they found the wire and they killed him. And after that, they just took out everything out of the Carter apartments, trying to destroy everything. Police enforcement came in, and it was just a big mess. I have a little short clip here of the movie, and it shows the Carter apartments and just the drug operations, how everything goes down. I think if the characters or the drug users would have taken this course, they would have learned like all the negative effects of the drugs, the history of it, and just how it can make a big impact in their life and how it takes over their life. But I do believe that it wouldn't make a big difference because during this time, especially in New York or just poor areas in general, there was a lot of drugs being used. So I feel like it wouldn't have changed anything. I found this movie to be very interesting and eye-opening. Even though this movie is fictional, I can see how it relates back to reality because there are a lot of people like Nino Brown, G Money, everyone else a part of his gang who just infiltrates society with drugs and acts of violence on a daily. I chose this movie because I would always see it come on television. Like I would see it coming up next, but I just never had the interest of watching it. But I did like hear a lot of good things about it when I said that I was choosing this movie for this project. And also I enjoy watching movies about drugs, so I said, hey, why not give it a try?